I came here to heal, I came here to grow. Lesson in love, they helped me let go. I chose this path, I chose this time. Everything I need, I hold inside. I came here to heal, I came here to grow. Lesson in love, they helped me let go. I chose this path, I chose this time. Everything I need, I hold inside. What do you do when the dream you built your whole life around doesn't choose you back? When the door you were certain God was going to open stays closed, and you're standing at a crossroad between disappointment, purpose, and becoming someone entirely new? Welcome back to another episode of Rebuilding Me, the Art of Starting Again. I'm your host, Tisha Michelle, and this podcast is about the moments that break us and the decisions that rebuild us. Today's conversation is one of those stories that doesn't just inspire you, it opens you up. My guest, Will, is someone the algorithm dropped into my life before the universe confirmed it in real time. His content is bold, God-centered, mindset-driven, and unapologetically reflective. And when I heard his story, I actually saw pieces of my own journey in it. Will grew up believing he had only a few paths in front of him, one he didn't want, one that would have cost him his future, and one that required him to give everything he had. Football. He did the work, he earned the degree, he showed up. And then, the moment he thought would change everything, didn't. What happened next, choosing between one last shot at a dream and a moment his family could never get back, actually became the foundation for a completely different kind of calling. So this episode is about identity, faith, disappointment, and what happens when God reroutes your life instead of rewarding your plan. It's about rebuilding, but not from failure, from clarity. So if you're in a season where you're starting again, questioning your path, and learning how to trust God beyond the outcome that you expected, this conversation is for you. Let's get into it. Well, thank you so much for joining me here on Rebuilding Me, the Art of Starting Again. I want to jump right into it, right? So I don't know how you popped up on my IG page, right? And I don't even actually remember which message it was, but I know it hit that I just started binging. I was like, I need this, I need this, I need this. I was like, I have these conversations with people, but it hits so differently when someone is saying it and you're receiving and not giving. And I was like, yeah. God, you funny. Like, you are so funny how you're just delivering it, and then you're delivering it from someone that looks relatable. And just seeing bits and pieces of like your story, it just resonated and it helped me. So I just went through the whole binging like I was on Netflix. and I seen it was one podcast you were on, and the clip was you talking about, you know, your life not being where you saw it or you thought it was when you wanted to get into the NFL, and now like you're teaching. And that part I was like, I need to have him on the show. We got to talk about that. Let's talk about that, because so many people are like, this, I had other plans for my life. This is not where I seen myself. I seen myself being here, and now this is happening, and it's like chaos and a catastrophe, and they're like, what do I do? So if you don't mind, can we go back to that? Go back to the dream. How did that start with like at the NFL?
Yeah, definitely. So that dream started for me based on the struggle that I grew up in. So when I was a kid, like there were no successful people in my family, in the sense that I saw somebody and I'm like, yes, this is what I aspire to be when I grow up. Like I didn't see that at all. So most of my family either got killed, went to jail, or were just barely getting by in life, you know? And my father, he was a trash truck driver, and my mom was a teacher's aide, and they got a divorce when I was a kid. So like that was very traumatizing for me. You know what I mean? And what made it worse was like shortly after that, my dad got into a car wreck and they fired him. So I'm living with my dad at the time, And now he has no money coming in. He has no way of working. His knees are tore up, his back is tore up. So he decided, in order for us to make money, that it was best that we drive around the city and I jump in trash cans to see if we could find things to sell to make money. Because one thing about the trash, him being a trash man, that was really cool is that you've heard the saying, "One man's trash is another man's treasure," right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, in my experience, that is 100% true. Because my dad used to bring home like bikes and TVs and video game systems that people would throw away. They thought they were useless, I guess, but for us, it was like Christmas. So we would take those things and repair them and things like that, and there we go. I have a game system, I have a TV, I have a bike. So it was pretty cool. So I guess having that experience, he was like, "All right, let's go to the trash can and see what we can find and go sell and make some money." And for me, doing that as a kid was very, very painful. Inside of the trash cans, it was dirty, it was stinking, it was disgusting. And I imagine that people, like my friends at school, were standing outside of it laughing at me, talking about me. And that gave me such a feeling of shame and guilt. And it turned me into a different person. Like prior to that, I was a kid that would speak up in front of the classroom with no problem. Made great grades. Like I was the token student. If there was a concept or a picture of one, like it was me. But after going through that, it changed me. I started to hide. I became somebody different. And that's not the worst part. Like a little bit further after that, he would wake me up at like 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning, and we would go clean toilets and vacuum floors and take out trash at daycares and like office buildings. I don't know how he got the contract for it. I never asked. But I'm like, man, I am a kid. I'm supposed to be
Yeah.
getting ready for the next day of school, but I'm cleaning pee and crap out of toilets. I'm taking out trash. I'm vacuuming floors. Like, there has to be more to life than this. And it was at that moment I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do something different with my life. I'm going to be the person that makes it out of the struggle, that makes it out of this situation. Like my family and my kids will never have to deal with this. And so that's pretty much how the concept of playing professional football came for me. Because I only had three options that I knew of. Option one was selling dope and robbing people, which is what a lot of my family did. And I saw what that did to them. So I'm like, I'm not going down that route.
Mhm.
Option two was to rap. You know, everybody in the hood want to be a rapper.
Of course. Of course.
And unfortunately, God didn't give me the ability to do that. So the third choice was to play professional sports. So that is the route that I chose. And that's kind of how that dream came to fruition for me.
Okay, so there's a couple things. So when you made the comment and you said there has to be more to life than this, oh gosh.
Yeah.
So when my best friend died, and shortly after the funeral, and I was at home, I was like, by myself, and I was going to get something off of the top of the closet, and I ended up touching the program from the funeral because I had extras. I had someone in the living room, and then I had extras. And when I was going to get like tape or something, I touched that, and I just started crying. And like I tell people, it was like when you watch those movies and it's that ugly cry and they're like slowly going down the floor to the and you'd be like, it's so dramatic. I
Yeah.
swear that's what I was doing. And I just started crying. And I was talking out loud. I don't know at that time. God, I mean, there was so many mixed things with the faith because people were like, well, God, he needed another angel. I was like, oh, bet. So God is selfish as shit. That's what you're telling me. He's gonna take
Yeah.
my best friend with 3 kids under the age of 5, and you're gonna take please, whatever. But I'm talking and I don't know who I'm talking to. But I said, there has to be more to life than this. Because if
Mm.
this is it, I don't want to be here. And I make sure to tell people I wasn't suicidal. I was just questioning my purpose, my role, like in the world. So, like, when you made that comment, like, or that statement, it makes me think like that's like a declaration we were doing when we were like, wait a minute. And like it started this internal thing and we like vocalized it. Like, so
Yeah.
when you saying like there had to be more to life than this, like, just tell me a little bit even just about that when you're just like what made you even think that there has to be more to life? Because you just wasn't accepting it?
Yeah, like, so I'll give you a couple of examples. I never had a birthday party until I was 21. And my wife and her family threw that birthday party for me in St. Louis. So as a kid, I would see my friends have birthday parties and I would see them be celebrated with cakes and we're all there and they're excited, they're getting gifts and they're just being celebrated and loved on. And I never experienced that. So there was always a void for me like am I not good enough to be celebrated? I remember vividly to this day right now, it being my birthday and I'm just sitting in the bed. My parents are at work or doing who knows what, and I'm just there by myself or with my siblings. And I felt terrible because of that. So some of it was I saw different things going on. I had friends that had two parents in the household. Like I would go eat dinner with them and, like it was a family type of feel that I didn't have. You know what I mean? I would we were so poor I had to wear my dad's clothes to school because he couldn't afford to buy me any. So, like experiencing those things, I knew that it had to be a better way. It had to be a different way. I saw glimpses of it through other people, but also I just knew that something about what I was experiencing and what I was going through just wasn't normal. It wasn't right. And I've always had this higher level consciousness, I guess you can call it. Um, the ability to see beyond where I was, to feel things and see things that most people like don't even pay attention to. So I guess it's just that gift of awareness and also seeing glimpses of those things with other people that made me realize, wait a minute, something is not right here. There has to be a better way.
And that's so dope to me because you can go either way. You can have that experience where, before school you're getting woken up and you got to go clean this, or you're looking in the dumpsters and you're feeling the shame, and you could literally just be like, this is my life. This, I mean, I'm alive. Like, this is it. But like you saying like, nah, there got to be something else. Like, to hear, I think that's so special because a lot of people, I personally believe, they don't feel like they have that in them. Like, but
Yeah.
I feel like it's in all of us. It's just, like a decision, to just be like, well, what if this isn't all there is? What if this
Yeah.
is just an experience, right? And I feel like that's where people are like now in their life, where they're going through, trauma, or going through financial hardship, or the idea that they were going to be this thing or be in this space, and they're just like not there, and they're just like doing the opposite of the what ifs, instead of saying like, what if this is just one experience I'm having, and I actually really get to have a better one, or like, what if this is it? So like how you said, you feel like you've always kind of had that level of consciousness, you know
Yeah.
you know
One
um
thing I learned is the reason why so many people fall into that category that you just said, where they had a vision for their life and it didn't turn out a certain way, so therefore they just feel like they have no choice but to stay stuck in the struggle. I found the reason why that happens is because of this. Wanting something and not having it creates pain. All right.
mm,
Wanting something and not having it creates pain. And if that happens long enough and you want and you want and you want and you want and you want, but you still don't have it, your life still doesn't reflect the thing that you desire, then eventually people make a life altering decision. And that decision is to stop wanting altogether.
that part.
Because it's easier to just say, you know what, I don't have a choice. This is the way it is, fuck it. Like it is what it is. That's easier than saying, no, this is what I want, and I'm willing to go through the fire. I'm willing to do whatever I have to do in order to get this thing. I don't care how much it hurts. I don't care what I have to go through. This is what I want, and this is what I will get. So because the pain is too great, they just stop wanting. And that's what
And
happened.
yeah, no, that's so dang. That is so. First of all, those are all bars right there. Like,
Oh,
yes, like definitely. I want to go back because that foundation piece right there, it's going to be weaved in through this. But I do want to go back a little bit. So you had this vision of NFL. First of all,
yeah,
shout out to you for looking at the options and you're like, yeah, I already seen what happens with that. Not happening. Not gonna
yeah,
go sell. Not gonna hit the block. Not gonna be on nobody's corner because I seen what happened and I want a little more for myself than that. So just shout out to you for that because there's a lot of people that go that route and I have family members that go that route where I look at it and I'm like, you had a choice. You didn't have to do that. Like,
yeah.
but again, I don't know what's going on within that person that makes them choose that. So I just want to acknowledge, like, shout out to you for
Thank
saying, you know what, I'm gonna hit the sports. I'm gonna hit
you.
the sports. So did
Yeah.
you get into like just tell us, like tell us about like did you start playing and when did you know that yeah, NFL is not happening?
Yeah. So I started playing in 7th grade. I didn't play youth football. I did like flag football for a year. But outside of that, like tackle football, I started in the 7th grade. And I was really good. I was really, really good. Partly because I did play football in the hood. So we would play tackle like in the street and like it was crazy.
So you got
But
that aggressiveness. That
yeah,
aggressiveness.
definitely. I had that aggression and also I had this rage inside of me, this anger. And playing football allowed me to like use that in a controlled environment where it was okay. Like you can't get in trouble for knocking somebody out on the football field. Like that's
Yeah,
what you're
yeah.
supposed to do, right?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I started playing in the 7th grade and I got really, really good. And then when I went into the 9th grade, this is where like things started to get serious. So um, I sat down and I created my plan. I'm like, all right, in order to go to the NFL, first I have to get into college. Now, in order to get in college, somebody has to pay for it because my parents can't pay for it. All right, they're barely getting by. They can't pay my way into college, so I need to earn a scholarship. Okay, so what do I need to do to earn a scholarship? I'm like, all right, I got to ball out on the field, and I got to take care of my grades. And I'm like, all right, cool. So here's what I'm gonna do. And like, what's crazy is I'm a kid doing this. All right, I'm a kid doing these things. I was never taught how to do this. It's just how my mind works. So, what I did was I went to my high school football coaches when I was in the 9th grade, and I'm like, hey, can I practice with the varsity? Here's my vision. I want to go to college. This is what I'm trying to do. And what I want to do is put myself in an environment that is going to pull the best out of me. And that's what I want people to understand is your environment is so critical to your growth. Like if you're
Hmm.
surrounded by people that are pessimistic, if you're surrounded by people that have no big vision for their life, people that just settle for anything, that is going to be rubbed off on you and it's going to hold you back. So you have to look around at your environment and see if the if that environment fits the future that you want for yourself. It's so cliche, but it's so true.
It's
So
so true, so true.
yeah. So I went to my coaches and they agreed to let me practice with the varsity. Now, these guys are bigger, faster, stronger than me. Obviously, like I'm just a freshman, but I didn't care. Like it was difficult. I didn't care. And um I did that and it made me a dog. So my sophomore year, I'm starting on varsity, like over seniors and juniors that were there. And then it just kept getting better. My junior year, I'm balling. My senior year, I'm balling out. And now I'm getting these college scholarship offers. So the plan that I put together is coming to fruition. That's how it started.
My God, that's so dope.
Yeah,
So dope. But yeah, you're definitely right about the environment. And I even find myself in those positions now, and it's nothing with, who I'm close to and all. It's just when I'm thinking about something big or the multimillionaires, I'm like, wait, who around's done that? Like, wait, why am I not around people that are thinking like this or
yeah,
have these big dreams or desires, whether you did it or not, but just having that whole thing. And I found myself saying, nothing is wrong with my people. They're my people. However, I also need to get around people that are in a different space. And what made me do that inventory was God gives me these ideas like crazy. And I know God be over me. Like, you crying about this. I done gave you this $1 billion idea. Then I gave you $1 million idea. Then I gave you a side hustle idea. And you sitting there like, I don't know what to do. But I had
yeah.
this idea that I ended up getting well, it was for a bed skirt, so it was an idea of another level of a bed skirt, and I just sat on it. I mean, I went and did the patent. I put the patent on it just so I was like, let me just do this because it's out in the ether, and I don't want God to give it to somebody else that's gonna act on it. So let me
Right.
let me protect it. And I was sitting there and I was like, why am I not doing anything about this? And I was like, oh, because I don't know anybody that's done this. And
Mm,
I'm like, I don't know anybody that's created something like that in that space. So I'm like, wait a minute. And I'm like, okay, God, it's okay if I'm the first to do something. I don't have a problem with that. But everything I have going on in my life right now, I need to scan my network. Somebody has to have produced and done something. So I just
yeah.
started like really scanning, and I'm like, wow. I mean, the
Wow.
closest person that I had is not even close. And it was when me and my best friend took a trip to Costa Rica, and we met these three, was it three of them, these three guys, and they were from the UK, and they like took us to dinner, and we just started like, because they were staying where we were staying, and we were having conversation, and one was in manufacturing, and it was like ketchup or something like that. One owned like a slew of hotels, and
Wow.
I can't remember what the other one, but they popped in my mind, and I said, oh, is this why we met? And you know what I mean? Like, is this why I met? Because like, yeah, you're looking for like that close proximity of people, but it could be like further out. But when I was scanning, I was like, man, I got to get out there. I got to start being
Yeah,
around some more people so I can create a different environment so I don't feel, air quotes over here, stuck. And then so like you're absolutely right about that environment.
absolutely. Yep. And
Like,
these people are closer than we know, right? Like they're they're everywhere. And one of the best things that I tell people that I work with is like, hey, excuse me, when you go out, have conversations with people. All
mm,
right? Don't just go out and be silent. Like get out your bubble, introduce yourself to people, strike up conversations. You never know who you're sitting next to. And I hang out at cigar lounges all the time. And man, I've got so many business deals and opportunities from just being there and talking to people. It's crazy.
I so believe that, and you're right. It's like it's putting yourself out there, getting out there, and like I always like, you're like, just put yourself out there, and you got to put yourself out there. And I'll be like, God, what you mean put myself? I'm out there. Like, what that mean? But but it is like, it's going in places, and like you said, introducing yourself. I kind of struggle with that part. I people talk to me, random people come up to me, they tell me like their business, they tell me what they're going through. I'll channel and say something. And before I was aware of all this, I just thought people were weird. Like that they would
Yeah.
just like tell me their business. I'm like, they're super weird, but whatever. And I'd say something, and to them it was so profound, and I'm just like, that was basic, but not really, realizing that was actually a gift, and it was creating a safe space for people. And that's why, just like your energy, that they can just come and just like talk to you about stuff. So I'm good in that space, but like
Mhm.
actually introducing myself and maybe saying like maybe what I do or I'm into it, I don't know, or even just like, I host a podcast, and just going up and initiating, like I do have, I need to work on that. But I do
Yeah.
believe that's definitely right. You can just be in the lounge, you can just be and just conversating, and you don't know who you're going to connect with.
Yep. It's a game changer. So
Yeah.
one of the
So,
things, like I'm typically like you, like I'm not the normal outgoing person that would do that, but I've learned to like make a list of all the things like that I typically wouldn't do, and then I challenge myself to do them.
mm,
And when I begin to do that, my life and opportunities and the results that I got begin to reflect that new way of being that I was operating in. So that's something, a challenge that you might want to accept right
you know what? Let's go. Let's do it. Let's do it. I accept, because one thing about that, call me out, put a challenge in front of me, say I can't do something, and like, okay, watch, I thrive. That's how I actually started my first business, because they said it wasn't a good idea. I was like, bet, let me prove you wrong
there. Yeah,
instead
I'm
of proving
talking about.
myself right.
I love
It's
it.
like,
I love it.
yeah, so no, yeah, it is. So yeah, and I'm just gonna make it my business to just actually say, introduce myself first, and just just let it go from there. So thank you for that, because I do need that, because I do believe everything can change and stuff, and all. And when you're scanning your environment, yeah, you'll start to see, wait a minute, I need to be around some other people and stuff, so I can really kind of see what's possible. Because if you're in
Yeah,
an environment where you're like, yeah, okay, I don't know nobody that's done this, so that means it can't happen. And especially if your mindset is there, and then it's like,
yeah,
well, get around the people that do. Or even if you go into like social media and you see, you see people, and you can see past some things, and you listen to podcasts or stories such as yours. So I said it was very. I was like, oh, I'm intrigued. I need to know. I need to know the story. My people need to hear this story so they can see another person who's reinvented, who's rebuilt, who's been in the same, place that they're in now, and just know that it's possible. You can overcome, and it's okay if life pivots and changes from what you thought
yeah,
it was going to be.
yeah. Definitely, definitely.
Okay, so you're playing football. You you're like, look, I don't know who's gonna pay for this, so we're gonna figure it out like this, and
Yeah,
we're gonna go. So wait, did you get it paid?
yeah, yeah. I did. So I got a couple different scholarship offers,
Nice.
and right after my prom, my senior year, I found out that my girlfriend is pregnant. So I'm about to become a father. I'm 18 years old. I'm like, oh my gosh, what? So, one thing I learned is that life is always going to challenge you in ways that you never expect. And I never expected to be a father at such a young age. So now I have to make a critical decision. Do I continue to pursue this dream of making it to the NFL, or do I stay home and take care of my baby? And I had to weigh the pros and cons. And I'm like, well, if I stay home, there's nothing here for me. Like, I know I'm going to get caught up in the gang life and get caught up in probably selling drugs and robbing people. I don't want to go that route. So I'm going to finish what I started by going to school and playing football and doing these things. Like, this will create a better life for my daughter. And that gave me even more fuel and ammunition and motivation to go out there and get it. So I did. I went to school. I would come back home on the weekends when I could. I was working a job. I was working at Subway, taking like 20 hours in a semester and playing football. Like, this is absolutely insane. But
Hmm.
like I see the bigger vision. So I'm doing that, and just kind of fast forwarding my football career is going crazy. I won like pretty much every award that you can win. All American award, defensive player of the year, like all of that stuff, I did it. And it got to the point now where NFL scouts are actually coming to pull me out of class while I'm in college.
Hmm.
So just to set the picture for the viewers, it's extremely difficult to make it to professional sports, like very difficult to do. And I was at a small college, so my chances of doing that were very, very, very slim, almost impossible. But here I am getting interviewed by the Rams and the Giants and the Vikings and the Green Bay Packers. Like, I got these guys' cell phone numbers in my phone. Like, this thing is real.
Dope.
So, yeah, so it was crazy to go from a concept, an idea, a vision to actually experiencing this stuff in real life. So, excuse me. So my senior year after the football, I drop out of school. I come back home here so I could train for the draft or for my pro day. So I'm working out 2 times a day. I got an agent, like I'm doing all of these things, getting ready. And the draft comes, and something happened that I never thought would happen. I didn't get drafted.
Hmm.
I didn't get drafted. And nobody told me why. So it went from, excuse me, it went from, oh, he's going to be possible late round pick to an undrafted free agent, which means that after the draft is over, if you don't get picked up, somebody's going to call you and invite you to camp for a tryout. So I knew one of those routes were going to work out. Like, I just knew it was going to happen. And when it didn't happen, that was like somebody just took a knife and just stabbed me in the heart over and over and over again. So now, like I'm just trying to figure out what's the plan, like what's next. My whole life has been dedicated to this one outcome,
Mm.
and I did everything that was in my ability that I could control. But ultimately, that decision was left up to the NFL and the coaches. So I went and finished. I got my degree. Actually, let me backtrack just a little bit. So when I didn't get drafted, I was flying from Texas to California, like different places, working out for the Canadian Football League and also the Arena Football League. And I'll never forget this. There was a team, the British Columbia, the BC Lions. They had sent my agent an email, and they said, "Hey, we love Will's film. We want to see him in person on this date." It was like in May 2008. And just so happened the day that they want to see me and work me out was the day that I was supposed to walk across the stage and get my degree.
Of course.
Yeah. So
Of course.
I got another difficult decision. Like, nobody in my family had graduated college. I was the first person to do that. So I'm like, do I go to this workout again? Like, I've been to all these workouts. I haven't got a contract yet. Or do I go and walk across the stage so my parents can see their son, their first son, get his degree? So I was like, look, tell them that situation. I'm going to go graduate just so my parents can see that. And then I'll fly out there and do the workout. And I made that decision, and they never spoke to me again. And that is what ended my football career.
Interesting.
Yep.
That is so But you know how many listeners people are gonna be like listening to this, and they may not be like playing football, going to NFL, but they're in the exact same position. They're putting in the work. They're doing everything in their ability, and they just know it's gonna pop. Because why would it not? That's weird. Like, why would it not happen? And then boom, they're like that, and that's where people give up, and they
Yep.
say, "Screw it." Because I did that. I did that part, that version of me that put in the work. I showed up here. I did this. I did that. And I called this and I made this tough decision and I did all these things and nothing happened. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Whatever. This is it. Like, this is stupid. Then you start questioning God, right? And you'll say,
Yep.
like, is there even a God? Because why would you do that? Why would you why do I have to choose between walking across the stage and going to them? You know, I want this. Like, why would you like do that? So tell me some of those feelings that was going through, even just having to make that decision, like you said, for your parents to see, and how important that was, that you're the first person in the family to graduate in that sense. And then, but there's also this dream that you have.
Yeah. Man, the feelings that I had at that time were absolute darkness. Like depression, feeling like a failure, feeling like completely lost. I'm like, what do I do now? What do I do next? And At this time, my wife now, we met in college. She's pregnant. So I'm about to have another kid.
Hmm.
So uh I'm like, what do I do now? I've never really worked a job before outside of working at Subway. What do I do? I've been a football player all of my life. So I asked some people like, okay, what do I do? I got a degree in education. Like, do I just go teach? And they were like, yeah, go teach and coach. So that's what I chose to do. And like the first year that I did that, it was cool. Like I enjoyed being around the kids and coaching football. Like during that time as a coach, just so happened when I got there, we were the first team in that school's history to win a city championship. Like it was like that was exciting and fun.
Hmm.
But there was this disconnect to where the vision that I had for my life did not match what I was currently living. And that brings me back to what we said in the beginning, where it has to be more to life than this. Because as a teacher, like we know teachers don't make money, right?
In
They
fact.
are so undervalued, it's ridiculous. So I'm living in a 2-bedroom apartment in the middle of the hood, the same hood that I grew up in, with my wife and my daughters. And like, this is just not the life that I envision. I envision having money, having freedom, being able to travel and do things that would like light my soul on fire. But I'm miserable in this thing. I have to follow their rules. I got to settle for what they are willing to pay me. Like, this is not the vision that I have for my life. So that sent me in a very deep, dark depression to the point to where I began to have anxiety and panic attacks. Like I really believe I lost my damn mind, to be honest with you.
Mm.
Because and this is crazy. I will never forget. It was like the convocation, which is like the beginning of the year meeting where all the teachers in the district come and get together and it's like a pep rally for the teachers and all the employees of the district. Well, we're doing that. And all I could feel was like, man, I don't want to be here. This is not right. I shouldn't be doing this. So I remember my heart started racing. My left arm goes numb. And now I'm laying on the ground feeling like I'm having a heart attack about to die.
Mm.
And all of these teachers and people are over me. They called the paramedics. They took me out of there in the ambulance, took me to the hospital, ran all these tests on me. And then they said, Will, nothing's wrong with you. You're okay, bro. Like, what? Nothing's wrong with me. So like that happened for like a year straight. I couldn't go to the grocery store. I couldn't go to the mall because any small thing would trigger a panic attack. And if you've ever had one of those, like it is like you literally feel like you're about to die.
Like
It's
you're
so
dying. Yeah. Yeah.
yep.
I've had one panic attack before, and I have two cousins who they end up in the hospital, like literally at the hospital for their panic attacks. So I know it's a real thing. And it's amazing
Yeah.
how our body responds to things, and our body is like letting us know. So while the doctors say like nothing's wrong, it's like no, everything is wrong. Like
Yeah.
I'm not in alignment right now. That is why my body is doing it. So medically, yeah, you don't see anything, but yeah, that whole inner thing. Okay, so you're teaching, you're coaching, you're like vibing a little bit, and now you're like, whoa, this isn't it. So it's interesting because you had the vision for your life to go to the NFL, but really the vision was so much more deeper, which is like why now you're in this space where you're like, they gotta tell me what to do. They tell me how much I can make. Like I can't
Yeah.
like so NFL was a thing, but it just goes so much deeper than that. And I personally believe, and tell me your thoughts on this, where people really get caught up on the idea of that thing, like for you NFL, that they don't realize that it's actually deeper than that. And that was just one way they could get to the thing, but they'll give up because they think that it was all about that one thing, but it goes so
Yeah.
much deeper.
Yeah. So you're 100% correct. And we can really say it like this. Um, the NFL to me was a means to an end, but it was not the end that I was actually searching for. The
Mm.
end that I was actually searching for was significance. It was wealth. It was freedom. It was the ability to say, I did this shit. Like I did something, I did something great. That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted to feel. So you're exactly right. A lot of the goals that people set, excuse me, are just the surface level of what they really want. So we have to really get clear on what we really want and be flexible on how we actually get those things. And that's something that I've learned throughout this journey in my career and through life.
No, I so agree, and I feel like that's a part that also stumbles people is what do you actually really want? I know for me that was, there was points where it's just like, well, wait, what do you actually want, Tisha? But when you start to think the obstacles or the things that's in front of you right now, that's what you see. You're like, so you don't get to that point. So I know a lot of people, struggle with actually seeing what do you want, so that way you can like create it or get there. So what do you tell people like when you're working when they really aren't clear on what they want, but they know it ain't this?
Yeah. Yeah. I would tell them I love to ask them, what is your soul desire? Like pretend nothing was off limits for you. Pretend money wasn't an issue. What is the thing that your soul is calling you to do? And they will probably say, "Well, I don't know." And I always say, "Well, you do know. You always know. There's been a feeling and a pattern that showed up through your entire life. Ever since you were a child, there's this vision, this feeling, this idea that you can't get away from. What is that thing?" And I'll take them back and I'll take them through that process, and then their desire, their soul's purpose will reveal itself. It's always trying to emerge through us, but we have to have the awareness to see it, the understanding of where to look. And once you do, boom, there it is. So
And
that's
you're
the process I take my people.
Yeah, and I love that, and I love you said like, no, you do know, like you do know. It is people have a hard time like naming that feeling or what category that they're putting that thing in. Well, I didn't think it was that. I just thought that was like, but wait, but now that we keep going back and questioning, you're like, but I've always felt this. I can take it
Yeah.
all the way back and like like yeah, it's always been there, but when we get caught up through like society, like our environment, um TV, everything, you just push that to the side because yes, everybody does know. I remember I posted this on Instagram and I did just a video and I just said like if money wasn't an issue, time wasn't an issue, and support wasn't an issue, like what would you do? That was all that I said. What would you do? And I had so many views and so many people comment. And these are people that I don't know. So they're not, this is, I guess I'm on the For You or the whatever page and all. And I was
Uh,
like, why did so many people respond? That was so interesting.
yeah.
Like it was so interesting, and they all spit. And and I want to say it's probably like 100, maybe almost 100 people or something. And I responded to each and every person because I was so amazed at what they wanted to do and who they wanted to be in this world. And but they, from their responses, it didn't seem like it was possible for them, like their mindset. But they knew what it was, but they didn't think that it was possible. So it was like this was just entertainment purposes. Let me just put this on there. But that's always like stuck with me that so many people, I'm like, this is a universal thing. People aren't living the life that they actually want, even if they can't name what it is, or some can name what it is, they know that this isn't it. So I'm
Yeah.
just curious, what's your thoughts on why do you think that there's so many people living a life that is not in alignment, that they don't want, or it's not even just the happiness, but like no peace, no inner peace?
Um, I believe the reason why that happens is simply because we are not taught the true meaning of purpose of life. So I'll break it down to you in a simple way of my perception, my worldview. And this
Okay.
is how it works. So I believe that we are all born with a purpose, a gift, and a path. All right. Like we look at people that we admire, certain, celebrities or whoever, and we're like, oh man, this person is just so great. They're gifted, they're skilled. Well, we all have that ability. All right. Like God doesn't favor one person over the other. We are all given a gift and a purpose. We have a reason for being here. So when we're born, when we are a child, like we're operating in that gift, in that purpose. All right. Then we go on this journey to where we become blind to it. In other words, there's polarity in everything. So if my gift and my purpose is to inspire other people and show them that they're valuable and show them that that they matter, well, as a child, I'm going to come into the world and I'm going to operate in that. But eventually, I'm going to go through this journey and process to where I feel the exact opposite of my gift. Meaning, if I'm here to show people that they're valuable, I'm going to feel useless. Life is going to give me experiences and challenges to make me believe and feel that I'm useless, that nobody cares about me, that I'm not good enough. And that is by design. All right. That is not to punish us. That is not to do anything other than to give us wisdom and make us powerful in the gift. Like there's no way that I could show up and serve in the magnitude that I do if I didn't go through the fire to learn this stuff. There's only things that you can learn in life by experience. A book can't give it to you. A YouTube video can't give it to you. You have to go through this journey. And the journey is where you grow and you learn and you get wisdom. And then once you get the lesson, you can go back and serve other people with that gift. But the problem is people go through that experience of where they're experiencing the absence of the gift or the opposite of it, and they feel like God has forgotten about them. They feel like, they're doomed. They settle. And as a result, some people just get stuck there. But other people understand the whole purpose of how this thing works. So when the challenge comes, you say, thank you, God, for this opportunity to grow. Thank you, God, for this experience that is designed to sharpen me, to make me stronger, to make me better. And when you go through it with that mindset, the time you spend in the struggle, in the challenge, is smaller, is shorter. But when you go through it with the why me attitude and why do I have to go through this and you're a victim of it, well, it's going to continue to happen until you realize who the fuck you are.
That part right there. That part right there. I completely agree with you on that. So thank
Yeah.
you for that. Well, before we wrap it up, like I want to fast forward. Okay, so NFL, whatever reason, whatever that plan was, that didn't happen. You're teaching, but you're not feeling that teaching being in that space. Your body was like, look, this is not in alignment, so I'm gonna keep shaking you up. So where did you go from there? Like, where are you at now? Like, what is it that you're doing now?
Yeah. So one day I'm in my classroom and I'm like, God, what is my purpose? Why am I here? Like you showed me this great vision for my life, but this ain't it, bruh. What do you want me to do with my life? And I had given my students a worksheet. I told them to leave me alone. I'm sitting in the back of my classroom with tears running down my face. And then God gives me this vision of this fitness center. And it was something that I had never seen or experienced before. People were running around. They were getting in shape. The music was loud. It was like a movie flash before my eyes. So I'm like, oh my God, I took out a journal and I began to write this down. And I knew that this was not my idea because I had never thought about it. And also like the way I felt, like this lightness just took over me. I'm like, okay, this is it. So I wrote down that vision and I'm like, all right, bet. Now this is what I'm going to focus on. This is my ticket to freedom. This is how I'm going to serve. This is my purpose. So I had no idea how to run a business or anything like that, but I just got obsessed with learning. So I studied marketing, I studied sales, and I'm like, all right, bet. I think I got what I need. Let's do it. So I sent out an email and invited everybody in the district out to a free workout that I was doing at the park. And again, when I did this, I had no money saved up. I was living check to check, taking out payday loans to survive as a teacher. My wife was staying at home taking care of our daughter because we couldn't afford daycare. So I just used what I had and made it work. I used the school's equipment. I used the school's excuse me email system to blast it out to everybody in the district, and that worked. My first workout went great. I had, I don't know, 50, 60, 70 people out there. It was like, this thing is real. But because I didn't have a full understanding of how to sell, nobody signed up after that. So I had a taste of the vision. But after I made the offer, they were like, yeah, that sounds good, but yeah, we're not going to do that. But I didn't allow that to deter me. And that's what I want to tell the listeners. Like, listen, man, don't disqualify yourself because you may not have great credit, or, you can't walk into the bank or get a loan, or you may not have thousands of dollars saved up. There's always a way to get things done. You just got to be resourceful. And you have to detach from the word no. You have to detach from looking crazy and stupid and just go after you want relentlessly. And when you can have that mindset, there's nothing that can stop you. So that's what I did. I had my wife out there, my mom, my sister, and there was like a lady from my church. And I just kept working them out. And while I was doing that, I would learn and I would apply and I would learn, and I'm applying what I learned. And eventually word began to spread about what I was doing. And it grew from a couple people to a whole lot of people outside. And then I made enough money to go out and get my first actual location. And then that's when things like really began to take off. And I had to make this critical decision again. Like, here we go. So many tough decisions in my life. Decision is, do I continue this teaching job for security? Because even though I hate it, I got insurance here. It's secure. I just got to show up and do my job.
Yep.
Or do I quit that and go into this business full time? Because I can't do both no more. Like, I'm taken away from the students in the classroom. Everybody knows that my side business is doing this thing. It's no secret. So I walked into the principal's room and I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to go full in. Like, I'm going all in on this thing. So I resigned and I went all in on the business. And the very next week, man, it took off. It was like God was like, all right, bro, I just wanted to see if you were faithful, if you truly believed in the thing that I showed you. And since you did, here you go. So I went very quickly from making, as a teacher, like $48,000 a year to making that every 30 days. It was absolutely insane. Yeah. And that's pretty much how it happened. And it just continued to grow and get better from there.
You stayed the course.
Yeah, I stayed the course.
You stayed the course, and I think that's so dope. You stayed the course. I like how you said you dived into like studying like marketing and stuff. So me personally, I'll create. I am a creator. I will get the idea. I will create it. I will put it together. I will get it up, and then it stops. I'm like, it's something about the marketing piece. I'm like, so even now in this season, I find myself in this place of saying, wait a minute. Is this something that I'm meant to lean into? Because there's something about this which probably goes deeper, like visibility, all of that. Or is it something that I just need to just do my part and then just like outsource it? Like get into there. And yeah, so that's like how I kind of like looking at it now. And I like how you said, like, yeah, I just like started marketing and I dove into looking into that. And I'm like, and that scares me. So my stuff just sits. It scares me.
Yeah, if you want to be a business owner, and this is for everybody, you cannot effectively carry out your mission and your vision without being great at generating desire for the thing that you're selling.
Mm-hmm.
So marketing and sales are synonymous with whatever it is that you want to do. You cannot separate them.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
that is so
cannot
true.
separate.
That is so true. Okay, so who do you are you still doing in fitness also, or are you just completely coached now, like
No,
individual?
I sold that company in 2020, and
Nice.
then yeah, from there I went into real estate investing. So I started buying property, me and my family, and I went into business coaching, and that was kind of organically. Like people would see my success back in the day, and they're like, "Bro, can you help me? I see what you're doing. Can you help me?" And I'm like, "Sure." Like I would just help them, and I wouldn't charge them
Hmm.
anything. Did it for the love of it. But my success record with helping people was like phenomenal. So I went into business coaching, and I realized that um, like what I do is different, it's unique, and it just flat out works. So I started doing that, and then that grew, and yeah, that's what I'm into now. So building businesses, scaling companies, working with sales teams, working with founders that are great at what they do. They're just not great at the marketing and sales of it. And once they learn that, what they do is limitless from that point. So that's what I'm into now.
Love it, which is what I just said for me with the don't I can create it. I can get the idea and I can create the thing. I'll put that work in. But okay, so no, I love that. Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, I want to be respectful of your time. So how can people support you? How can we all support you?
Yeah. You can follow me on Instagram. My tag is real Will Clewis. So there, I drop a lot of content really about spirituality, identity, and mindset because that is the foundation of everything. So if you want to learn more about my philosophies and my concepts about that, follow me on IG. That's the best way to get in contact with me.
And I highly recommend that because you will get on there and you will binge and you will feed your soul like from his content right there. So I can only imagine what it's like actually working with you one on one because just getting that energy and that vibe and that, like you said, reminding people who the fuck they are. And that's what you
Yeah,
get when you be like, wait a minute. Wait. Why I'm over here tripping? I'm Tisha Michelle. Stop playing. Stop
yeah.
playing. So I love all of that, and I really appreciate you taking your time to even have this conversation with me and the listeners. I got so much from it, and I know they're gonna get so much more.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. I truly have, excuse me, I enjoyed our conversation today. And let's just keep growing.
Absolutely.
Thank you for tuning in to Rebuilding Me, the sacred art of starting again. If this episode spoke to your soul, be sure to subscribe, leave me a review, and most importantly, share it with someone who's on their own journey of remembering who they are. And just know, you're not alone, and you never have to start from scratch. You're starting again, but this time with wisdom. Until next time, stay open, stay grounded, and trust your rebuild. And if you need help navigating this journey, make sure to visit www.tishamichelleofficial.com and book a sacred reset session.